Hi everyone, it's Holly and Bly at 34 Vampires, and thank you for joining us. At long last, spring is starting to rear her head, thank goodness. In this video we decide to get out and about and we visit the set of one of the filmings of Peaky Blinders and visit the Lancashire Coal Museum. The best part of the day without a doubt was meeting the hilarious Marilyn, who I'll introduce you to in a bit. First, it was time for a cuppa in the little old-fashioned cafe there, and as you can see we don't exactly quite fit in. It's quite a posh environment, but yeah, it was really lovely in there. They do sort of like soup and stuff like that for you as well, and the lady in the cafe was lovely in telling us about the place and then took us in to see Marilyn. As you can see here, they've got a traditional coal fire. It's actually the first time I'd seen real coal, because normally, of course, you buy it in like in those little balls and everything. So this was sort of all lumpy, all kind of shapes and sizes.
Yeah. So anybody who wants to be a volunteer, but come and get it back with a loofah. We're getting some pit soap, or we can give them a back in front of fire. Any Sunday night, they're welcome. And nobody's been here and volunteered. Like, hey ho, you never know, do you? Yeah. Did you see you put your hand up then, Cock?
Me, no.
I thought you was volunteering.
No, definitely not, no.
Oh, shine a light.
Yeah. No, thank you for that. Brilliant.
Oh, you've been brilliant. Thank you so much. We've really enjoyed.
I can love it, meet you.
So Marilyn and the lady from the cafe got us to dress up in old-fashioned clothes, and took a photo of us, and of course Marilyn had something to say about that as well. So as you can see, this is an original photo of the coal miners coming home in the evening from the coal mine. Quite strange afterwards to be walking down that same road all of these years later. When you arrive, one of the first things you notice is the towering headgear. This impressive steel structure dominates the skyline and immediately captures attention. The headgear once supported the cables that raised and lowered the miners and coal cages deep into the earth. I'm guessing that the names here are for some of the miners that actually fought in the war, otherwise for some that fought in the war from the actual village, which is Astley Green.
Yeah. Seek his memorial around you.
There was a huge amount of machinery on site as we walked round, and it's lovely to see how the volunteers have been trying to preserve it as best they can for future generations.
You going in there?
You gonna do it?
Go on, you go down. Go on, I'll meet at the other end. Go on.
I miss all this then.
It was actually quite harrowing to see some of the images there, some of the old photographs of what the men actually went through. It was a really, really hard life. Certainly one that we wouldn't have wanted to live. You know, we complain now, but we've got nothing to complain about after everything that they went through. You can actually see here a mock-up of how narrow the tunnels were, and this was these men's daily lives, having to squeeze their way through. Bloy actually said that it was even hard to get his shoulders through. It's just masses of stuff in here.
It's a donation.
Oh, I'll come back round to that now.
1800 what? No, 1800 what?
It's what? Yeah.
Kids wouldn't even know what them are.
No, they wouldn't know what to do with them, would they? To understand the importance of this museum, we must first understand the importance of coal mining in Lancashire. During the Industrial Revolution and well into the 20th century, coal was the driving force behind Britain's development. It powered factories, heated homes, fueled steam engines, and enabled the rapid growth of towns and cities. Without coal, there would have been no mass industry, no large-scale rail networks, and no modern urban expansion as we know it. Lancashire in particular, below a powerhouse of industry, and coal mining played a central role in supporting its textile mills, engineering works, and transport systems. However, while the machinery is impressive, the true heart of the Lancashire Mining Museum lies in the human stories that it preserves. So here we go back to Marilyn to see what she has to say about it.
And I get my pipe.
You get your pipe.
Right, so just think about place.
Love it. Love it. It's really interesting looking at it sort of like from all those years ago, like tough life.
It
Tough
was a
life.
hard life.
Yeah.
It was hard. They worked hard, them lads did.
Yeah.
And this is why we've got to save this, because it's a museum. It's not for us, it's for the next generation and their kids.
Yeah,
We've lost so
exactly.
much of our history, and it's so important as we, try to tell children what it used to be like to work.
Yeah.
12 hours in dark.
Yeah.
A little light.
Yeah.
Sometimes lacking seams 18 inches high.
Yeah.
It's 6-year-old kids at one point used to go down.
That's
And then Queen Victoria, she had something to do with some mines, and there was a flood in one of her mines and some kids got killed. So she said, oh no, can't have children in the mine, can we? Right, they've got to be 10-year-old before they go down. To a penny.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like you lived in, if you're a miner or whatever kind of work you did, you had the house belonging to the mine.
Yeah.
So they had you always. You couldn't stop.
Yeah.
You were saying about Lady Pilkington.
Well, Lady Pilkington cut the first of 1908.
Yeah.
And it started film production 1912 and she closed 1970. When she was at two engine houses, there was one point like nearly 2,000 people worked here.
Really?
It was a big concern,
Yeah.
But coal went out of fashion and they decided they wanted to get rid, so... But we've got to save this for kids.
Yeah. So they can understand what it used to be like. Yeah.
Because they don't even know what coal is, our kids.
No.
And you can't beat a toast butty up fire.
Oh,
You get your toasting fork, lass, piece of bread, bit of best butter, way. They're made.
Yeah.
Fantastic it is, really.
Yeah, we do our jacket spreads on
And
the
then we
fire
tell
and
kids,
casseroles.
you'd have a bath once a week whether you needed it or not.
Yeah.
Mother would do washing once a week, always on a Monday in Lancashire. Because, because of course you only change your clothes once a week if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Because you haven't got different clothes probably getting back there. So anybody who wants to be a volunteer, But come and get it back with a loofah. We're getting some pit soap and we can give them back in front of fire. Any Sunday night, they're welcome. And nobody's been here and volunteered. Like, hey ho, you never know, do you?
Yeah.
Did you see you put your hand up then, Cock?
Me, no.
I thought you was volunteering.
No, definitely not, no.
Oh, shine a light.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
good
thank
God.
you for that. Brilliant.
Oh, you've been brilliant. Thank you
gosh.
so much. We've really enjoyed.
I can lovely meet you.
Oh, you
we have
too.
some fantastic visitors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
we've
some
really enjoyed.
fantastic kids, you know.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I tell this tale to everybody.
Yeah, go on.
And, oh, it's a couple of years ago now. This little lad comes in, excuse me, comes in, he stands there, he looked about 10 or 11. I said, are you okay? Yeah, Mum's gone for a cup of tea. I said, oh, that's fine. He looked and he says, where's your television? I said, television? We didn't have your television. What did you watch? I said, just watch fire. I sat and watched the fire. I said, aye. I said, we used to make pictures out at flames. Oh. I said, just know, at winter time, inside panes of glass, we used to get beautiful pictures made of ice. You get ice inside of the house? I said, yeah. Oh, he said, you should switch your heating on. I said, well, that wasn't my heating. He said, no, your electric heating. I said, electric? We didn't have electric, did we? I said, he looked, he said, you got lights. I said, I put the gas lights. So we was the electric. I said, electric? We didn't have electric. Well, he looked at me and I thought, bless his cotton socks, he's going to scrag. Because his whole posture changed. From being quite straight, his knees went in, his shoulders come up and his hand went up and he went, oh, how did you change your phone up? And he was horrified. He just couldn't understand how you could live.
Yeah.
And he looked at me, shook his head and ran out.
Yeah.
I thought, poor sod, he's scared for life.
Yeah,
I wish I
that's
could,
true.
you know, it's over 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
I just wish I could have had a little picture of him or something.
Yeah.
Fantastic little lad. Absolutely great.
Brilliant story.
I tell everybody that knows.
Yeah.
Can't help it.
No, it's a good.
So Marilyn pointed out this embroidered piece to us. It was actually created by a girl who was only 6 years old in 1858 called Mary Ann Reed. And as you can see, it's pretty impressive for a 6-year-old compared with what our children would be doing today. And of course, it wasn't just men that worked in the dark coal mines for up to 12 hours a day. It was the horses as well, and canaries were often used as well to check for carbon monoxide. These horses and ponies would have had a really, really hard life, especially as prey animals that are meant to move up to 30 miles a day in the wild and that eat for up to 16 hours. As this was obviously something that they wouldn't have been able to do in this kind of job, and obviously it wasn't their choice to work there. Walking around the place, it's just mad to see the sheer size of this structure, this headgear. The museum's exhibits include original tools, safety lamps and helmets, and everyday objects that miners would have used. There are photographs showing men covered in coal dust at the end of the shift, as well as images of pit villages where families lived close together. These displays help visitors understand that mining was not just an occupation, it was a way of life. Entire communities were built around the pits. Schools, shops, social clubs and churches all formed part of the tightly connected network that supported mining families. Mining communities were known for their solidarity and resilience. When times were hard, neighbours helped one another. During strikes and economic downturns, communities came together to share resources and provide support. The museum reminds us that industrial history is not only about machines and production figures, it's about the people, the relationships and the shared experiences. It is also important to recognise the role of volunteers in keeping the museum alive. Many of the people who maintain the site and guide visitors have personal or family connections to the mining industry. Their knowledge and passion brings authenticity to the experience. They do not simply recite facts, they share memories and stories that give depth and meaning to the exhibits. Thanks to their dedication, the museum continues to thrive as a centre of heritage and remembrance. Furthermore, the Lancashire Mining Museum encourages reflection on how energy production has changed over time. Coal was once the backbone of the nation's energy supply, but today we're moving towards renewable sources. Visiting the museum allows us to reflect on its transition and to consider both the benefits and costs of industrial progress. It reminds us that every stage of development is shaped by the hard work of ordinary people. This museum stands as one of the most important reminders of Lancashire's coal mining heritage. It's not simply a building filled with old machinery. It's a living tribute to the men, women and communities whose lives revolved around the coal industry for generations. I have to admit, visiting a museum like this isn't something that I normally personally would have done, although Bly has a sort of quite an interest in history. But going there was a real eye-opener for me. I'm so glad that we did it because we were local to it at the time on our boat. But just to see everything, it kind of really brings home what these people went through and how times have changed. And as Marilyn said earlier, it's so important that all of this is kept in place, that all of this is preserved for our children so that they can understand. Seeing the sheer amount of metal machinery that is outside, it's only too clear to see just how dedicated the volunteers are and how much work this all must take to maintain. Marilyn's husband was actually outside working in overalls doing manual work. I can't remember if we were told he was 92 or 94 now, but I think it's this kind of volunteering and sort of like looking back into the past and the remembering that probably keeps this lovely couple going, you know, and fit as well. It was just fascinating to see people of that age that were so courageous but so giving as well. Even in the times after they've retired, they just still keep going in order to preserve this memory. You can see here one of the original tracks. The machinery sat on the original tracks as it went through, and yeah, that the men actually used to be on there. It's quite incredible to see. In some ways it almost looks like dinky toys, but obviously these were full-grown men that were actually working on this machinery. As all the volunteers that we saw seemed to be quite elderly and connected to the coal mine when it was up and running, it does make me wonder too what will happen when that generation passes, and will it still stay open, and will other people kind of carry on that tradition of keeping the memory alive. We went into another building where we were talking to two volunteers that were retired miners and listening to their stories. One of them was quite harrowing because the miner was telling us that at one point somebody had put their head out through a shaft, had been decapitated, the body had fallen down the shaft, and that he himself had then had to go and retrieve the head and carry it down a ladder in order to bring it back for the family. It's really hard to imagine the things that these men actually went through. You could physically see that their bodies were quite crippled from the work that they had done, but they talked about their story so passionately. It's really easy to see with them, talking to them, just how important the museum was to them and that those memories are kept alive. These next two images are cards that we bought that were actually taken from original paintings that were created by one of the volunteers that were working there. These were available from the gift shop. I've got a couple of screenshots here as well from the website so that you can read a little bit more about the museum, but also see about how you can get involved if you are local or passing through, because they're always looking for additional volunteers in order to help out in the grounds. The museum really is a hub for lots of things going on. You can see coming up here the sheer amount of events that they have going on every year, everything from Valentine's events to Halloween events. There's a classic car one as well. So again, if you are in the area, have a look out. There might be something that you fancy doing, because it's certainly a place that we would love to go back to and go and see some of these events. Well, I can't sort of like even begin to explain what it was like that day. It was so much like going back in time, and the amazing people that we met and spoke to. It was an absolute privilege to have met them and heard their stories. It really was. So the next day we headed back towards Leigh and left Astley Green. We're a little bit confused as to what to do at the moment due to breaches and things like that. So at the moment we've headed back to Plank Lane Bridge, and we're going to see where we go from there. Sort of the world's our oyster at the moment, but it's a case of if we can get there. But thank you for watching, and we really appreciate you watching our videos. Give us a thumbs up, give us a like, and don't forget to hit the notifications. And we'll be doing a review on the Honda generator soon as well. So if you're looking to buy a generator and not sure whether that's the one for you, you'll be able to see whether we're going to give it the thumbs up or the thumbs down. And in the meantime, take care.